Are grow lights the only way to go if you want to keep your plants alive during the winter? Well, we think there are more options out there, and we're gonna teach you 5 ways to increase light for your plants without having to buy and install an expensive set of grow lights. And we can guarantee it works. You know why? Because we measured it. If you're new here, my name's Larissa, and in this channel we try to make plant care easier by explaining how plants work. So this time of the year comes around and daylight starts to decline, and then your plants start to decline, and then you go online for options and everybody's talking about grow lights, grow lights, grow lights. And then you start looking into it and it looks kind of complicated because there's a ton of options out there. Some of them are very expensive and you have to install it and don't even have a place for it in your home. We're gonna come with some other ways, other options for you to increase light, and other than the obvious, take your plants and put it by the window kind of thing. We're thinking outside the box here. So if you watched my last video on how to measure light, you understand how sensitive plants are when it comes to light. Sometimes we look at an environment and we don't see any change in the light, but the plants are so fine-tuned to sense light that any change goes a long way. So we're gonna teach you 5 ways that you can work around your space that you have in your house to make more light reach your plants. The first option is simply by elevating your plants. You may not notice, but the light that reaches the floor in your place coming from the window compared to the light that reaches the plant that is in the same height of the window is completely different. It makes a lot of difference. You just putting a plant inside on top of a table or on top of a stool, or even hanging them, and they have a better chance of receiving more light this way. The second way you can increase light for your plants is just using the lights you have in your place. Leave the lights on, literally. Leave the light in your bedroom, in your living room, leave it on during the day. It may not make a lot of difference for you, but it makes some difference, especially if your plants are close to the light source. When I was living in my last place, I had just a north-facing window and winter was brutal. So some of my plants, I kept them alive just by placing them on top of the fridge in the kitchen and keeping the kitchen light on all day long. And you say, oh, but that's gonna spend some energy. But if you're using grow lights that are on for 12 hours a day, you're also using energy. And there is another way that you can increase light inside the room. You can just change the light bulb. So when you go to buy a new light bulb, you need to check a unit called lumens. So remember we talked about foot candles in the last video? So foot candles and lux and lumens are all units that measure how bright a light source is. They just vary by like the surface they are measuring, but it's basically, if you want to know how much brighter, if we want to know if a light bulb is brighter than the other, check the lumens, because sometimes you check the wattage, the voltage, the wattage, and some lamps are bigger than the others, but when you check the lumens, it's a different story. So go for that, and check the light bulbs you have in your house. Sometimes you have like a 400 lumens going on. You can change for like a 1600, and you just increase your light in your house for like 4 times with just a trip to the supermarket. The third way is also to use the light that you have. Everybody has, a desk lamp lying around, or you have like your lamp in a nightstand. Why not use that to increase light for your plants? The plants will not know the difference between sunlight, natural light, and artificial light. So what I have here in my house, I got one of those kind of almost like a selfie stick for YouTubers. They also come with this halo of light. And I just created a grow light situation. I just like clipped it and I just turned it on. And now my little pilea that is suffering a lot is trying to survive, but now it has its own light source, and I didn't have to buy anything. It was just lying around. So use those lamps that you already have. The fourth way is by finding a way to bounce natural light around your place. How you can do that? You can use mirrors. If you have like a large mirror and you can place it strategically to bounce the light that is coming from a window to another area that it's darker, you're gonna put like a lot of light in the area by reflecting, bouncing the light around, like reflecting the light. And I know you're gonna say, like, I don't want to buy a super expensive, huge mirror. Maybe you don't like mirrors, but you can try to achieve the same thing by using a picture frame. So if you have like one of these picture frames hanging around your place, just try changing it to another position, maybe changing it to another wall. It might make some difference in some of the plants that are in front of it. Speaking of using your walls to increase the light in a space, the best thing to do, and this makes a huge difference, is to paint your walls white. And I know it sounds like a lot of work, but it's actually not that complicated. You go to any hardware shop and say, I have a wall, I want to paint it white. They will give you a small can. You don't need to buy a big can if you're just painting one wall. You're gonna notice that this is gonna make a huge difference because light will be able to dance around in your space, if you may. But let's say you have an accent wall that you love, you don't want to all white walls and you have like a blue dark accent wall that you love. Another way you can do that is by having, if you have like a very big picture frame with a white surface in it, like a white artwork that's mainly has a white background, and you put it in that accent wall, you're gonna create a white space, a reflective surface in that wall that is white, and it's also reflective because of the glass in the picture frame. This is gonna help to bring more light into your space. So there you go. I hope you find this video useful, and if you did, you're also gonna like this one in which I talk about how to make your plants survive the winter, basically. Thank you for watching, and I see you soon. Bye!